guys, Tyler from BurlyCast Gaming here. Gonna do my E3 2017 impressions. Due to some scheduling stuff, Luigi and I haven't been able to meet up, unfortunately, and I did promise pre-E3 impressions. Didn't end up getting to get that done, but I figured I'd at least give you my impressions. Hopefully Luigi and I can maybe meet up later to get his thoughts, or he can make his own video and give his own thoughts. But I'm not going to go every conference because like EA, Bethesda, and all them, I'm not going to go over all of them. I'll talk about some key points maybe from them. But I will be covering the big three, maybe not everything. But I'm going to give like what I kind of predicted start by like what I predicted to happen and what actually happened and what my overall thoughts. So I'm going to start with Microsoft. I did predict we were going to get finally the name for the Scorpio and get a little more information that I was predicting on that. I didn't predict that was pretty much it because I didn't know of anything that they were going to show, because I couldn't think of any games because of cancellations of like Scalebound and other. And I think there was like one or two other games that canceled. I wasn't too sure what they're going to show. But we finally got the name, which is the Xbox One X. You can do 4K. And that wasn't the only thing they actually announced hardware-wise, is they're bringing back the Duke controller from the original Xbox. I never had one. I never actually seen one up close, but that's kind of cool. But it's also going to, they're going to try and bring some original Xbox games to Xbox Ones. It's kind of actually, I really do like that because I don't have my original Xbox anymore. My dad sold his 360 years ago, so that's helped me being able to play some of the 360 games I have on the Xbox One on there. But if I could, buy original Xbox games and play it on the Xbox One, it keeps that staying in my entertainment center where I'm at, instead of me having to go buy an Xbox and try and get it or emulate them. It's a really good idea, and I think it's smart. Crackdown 3 they showed more often, that we're getting that in November. I think November 7th. I'm excited. I never played the original. I played the original, sorry. Never played Crackdown 2. But apparently it's supposed to be... It looks pretty cool to me. I think whether or not it's going to be a day one purchase, who knows. They showed off the rare game Sea of Thieves. Looks interesting. I don't know. Because that seems to me too much of, I'm going to want to get a bunch of buddies, and I don't have enough buddies that have the console, have the time that we can all meet up. But it does look like a cool game in my opinion. Yeah, some of the stuff, like the third-party stuff they showed off, Assassin's Creed, I got way too burnt out with the franchise, and for those who don't know, I had the last one, which was Syndicate. And Syndicate, I don't know if it's been well documented or not, but in my case, there's a certain mission that takes quite a bit of time. It kept telling me I got a checkpoint, but I accidentally died or failed a stealth section. The checkpoint started me back at the... Didn't give me the checkpoint, made me start back at the beginning of the mission. And that was like 20 minutes in. It's like, when you're doing a long mission like that, and you don't have checkpoints, I constantly had to redo it. I got frustrated and just got rid of it. I'm not... Origins, like the whole thing with the Hawk, that's kind of neat, but I don't know. I'm kind of done. I wish Ubisoft would have took longer than just a year off. I think they should have took a couple years from the franchise, because made some other games to help out. Since I'm on Ubisoft and Microsoft, I think they showed it off at Microsoft Day, the South Park Fractured But Whole. The writing there seems pretty cool. Like, I really did enjoy Stick of Truth. but I'm not into the fracture but whole gameplay. I kind of wish if it was more in line with turn-based instead of the whole grid-based thing. I wasn't into that kind of stuff. Like, it's hard for me to get into Final Fantasy Tactics. Some of the Fire Emblem games I have been able to get into, so but we'll see. Maybe I'll keep my pre-order on that. Now it's time to go to the Sony I'm going to go to, which was the only one I did watch live, because it was at like 9 o'clock at night here in my time zone. And boy, we'll start off with my predictions. I was predicting, because they've been hyping up the Crash Insane trilogy, that we were going to hopefully maybe get a small teaser of a Spyro trilogy, the original 3 Spyro games, because I'd love that. I'd buy that over the Crash trilogy, in my opinion. But we unfortunately didn't get that. What was my other prediction? Sorry, I have these typed up here, and I just have to pull the other window, because I'm running off my laptop. I'm not in my usual spot where I record these. I predicted we were going to get another huge VR presence. Like, we were going to get about 10 VR games. Like, I figured we were going to get the Skyrim VR. But now what actually happened? Yeah, we got a bunch of VR games. I'm not interested. Like, I'll try VR out, but to commit like $500 on top of the purchase I've already done in the PlayStation, and then spend another $50-$60 per game, or even 40. I don't know what the prices are. That's a little nuts. Like, Skyrim, I've had my fun with it. I will go back to it at some point. I wouldn't want to play that as a VR. Neither would Fallout 4 or some of the others. Like, one of the VR games was with a mouse that started with an M. I think it was might have just been called Mouse. Platforming one that kind of looks interesting, but you don't need to make that VR. God of War looks interesting to me, because it kind of looks like it's continuating off of the original series. Be interesting to see where that takes us. We also... I was surprised they were going to do a Shadow of Colossus remake again, because they ported it to the PS3 and updated it a bit. I kind of hope they don't just, like, here you go, better graphics. No, like, I hope they, because I heard there was some cut Colossus. I've never played the game. I've been interested. If they put in, extra stuff, like some of these bosses and stuff we wanted in, couldn't get it in the time because of deadline, put them in. Make the game bigger, add stuff to it, so that way for people that haven't played it, you're getting a new but same, a new experience, as well for the players that have never played it. You're getting new content into it for the guys that have played, the PS2 version or the PS3 version or both. Yeah. They're ending on I figured they would have ended on Spider-Man. Looks interesting. I have it pre-ordered. Huge Spider-Man fan, so that's not a shocker for me to want to pick it up. But I'm hoping to see like some more game. I'm sure they'll do stuff like the new suits, like multiple suits. And teasing at the end Miles Morales at the end of the trailer, so you can maybe play as him. Be kind of interesting. I hope we get tons of different villains. Like, you don't always have to go with the huge A-lister group. You can go with like some B and C tier villains, because Spider-Man has a crap ton. So it'd be very interesting to see how that all turns out. Yeah. Overall, I thought their press conference was okay. I was kind of missing the wow factor. Like, I was kind of hoping for something extra more to get revealed instead of just re-showing stuff we already know. Like, I didn't talk about this earlier, but the Uncharted Lost Legacy, that just looks boring to me. I don't see characters that I really want to relate to or go on an adventure. Maybe the game comes out in a couple months. It can prove me wrong. I kind of wanted to see something of Last of Us 2. I've never played The Last of Us. I have it on my PS4. It's on the ever-growing backlog of games. I will eventually play it and maybe give my thoughts. So, yeah, but... now to good old Nintendo. Who I think out of the three had the best conference. I figured we were going to see a little more of like Mario Odyssey. I didn't really have a lot of predictions for them. Man, they revealed quite a bit. Metroid Prime 4. Not really into the Metroid games, but that's good for fans because it's been a few years. Unless you count for Federation Force, which was I think last year on the 3DS. You also get the remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS, which I'm still surprised they're bringing stuff on the 3DS. I think this has got to be the last year for it. You don't put too much more on it because you've got the Switch being a portable console hybrid. You want to have the separation, not have both of those markets going at once because it's a little too hard. The Yoshi game looks okay. Like, the art style looks of it nice. I've never been huge into the Yoshi games, and this doesn't look like one I'll pick up. The Kirby reveal was cool. I like that. You can kind of combine powers and then capture enemies to join them on your team. That I love. That looks like that's going to be fun. Definitely fun for, like, I'm pretty sure you can do the co-op thing. And then, like, you all join in four and, like, in the trailer and do a little circle thing. You roll down together. That's kind of cool. I'm a huge Kirby fan, so it's kind of nice to see something. Kind of bringing back, combining powers, bringing the multiple people thing from, like, Return to Dreamland, I think it was. So, yeah. Mario Odyssey, which, like that 30 seconds that they showed on the original Switch trailer, or live of revealing what the Switch was, was nothing to hold home for, because it was just him with the goggles on the hat and the other stuff. Dang, this looks like a really interesting game. I've been more of the Mario platforming. Like, I think the only really 3D ones I've played was Galaxy and 64. This I now have pre-ordered because it looks so cool, like being in the real world. You get to travel in kind of real world and using the hat to, like, capture the enemies, and you possession or capture and take over them and and you can use their kind of abilities to traverse the world. That's really cool. Apparently there's no lives in the game, which is, it's interesting. I kind of like that for, like, when I played Rayman Legends on the Wii U, so you can keep going and going. I know this may not have been as long as people like, but I didn't want to go over every game because some of the games that were shown off I just didn't care about. To be honest, I went over stuff that kind of mattered to me and what I want. E3 over the last couple of years has been becoming smaller and smaller because a lot of stuff gets leaked ahead of time, and you know what? It happens. I understand. Like, I haven't sat and fully watched, like, all the conferences in years. Like, I remember when I was in high school, really getting invested in watching it. Because you get all the coverage, because I was living with my parents at the time. You use a network called G4 here, and you get all the coverage there. It was great. Nowadays, I'm less interested in seeing what got revealed, and watch the stuff that I care about. So yeah, this has been Tyler from Burly Men Gaming signing off.